Hope you're doing really well. Today I've loaded up my Skoda with 3 of my bikes. I have got my Marin Headlands gravel bike, I have got my custom one-off Marin cross-country bike, and I've also got my custom carbon Windy Miller road bike. So I've come to a local gravel climb that I quite enjoy, and the plan today is to ride all 3 bikes on the gravel climb and to see which one is faster. It's not going to be hugely scientific, but I am going to start from a standstill at the same place, and then the plan is to try and stick at 200 watts for the entire climb on all of the bikes. I don't know how easy that will be, because when the climb kicks up, that's going to probably make my power spike. So I guess if I aim for 200 watts average over the entire lap, that's probably a good way of doing it. I think the only way to see how well this experiment does or doesn't work is just by doing it. So I'm going to get out the road bike first, because it's already got my Garmin Rally power pedals installed on it. So I might as well set a base time with that bike, and then I've got the other 2 to follow up with, and we'll see which bike is fastest on a gravel climb. What do you reckon I've forgotten?
Yeah, shoes.
Something. Always something.
Wrong cleats on your shoes.
No, I've got the right ones for sure. Just spilt my bleeding coffee everywhere.
Wow, it's an old car, so I wouldn't worry. Did you just tip the rest of it back in the car?
Just drank it.
I thought it looked like you just emptied the rest of the cup.
You're funny. I think I'm going to go from a standstill, because I feel like if I have a flying run into it, then I'll be coming into it at a different speed depending on which bike carries most speed, right? So
yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So I think it's better to just start from a standstill, and then I will set up my Garmin to show me just the lap average power.
No. You want your Garmin to show you your actual, say, your 3-second power.
Yeah.
And then have your average power as well.
Road bike first. Let's go. Hard to pace it properly. My power is way above what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm at 280 watts for my lap power. Dull. Well, I did warn you that it was going to be a very unscientific test, but I messed it up even more than I expected. I just went way too hard at the start, and then I thought, well, I'll settle into it, let my average power drop down to what I was going to do, 200 watts. But then I realised I was going really fast, and I looked around the corner and I was nearly at the end, so I just couldn't help myself but keep pushing through, obviously wondering if I've got the Queen of the Mountain now. But then the other problem is I can't actually see now what my lap power was. Looked like it was about 2 minutes 14, and I think the average power was about 261 watts. So I'm going to go back down and swap bikes and see if I can kind of mimic this ride but on my mountain bike and discover whether it's any faster. I don't think I'm going to do it quicker on my mountain bike, but hey, I'm here now. Let's set another time and see. I tell you what, I don't think it's gravelly enough here for it to be a proper test. It's too fast on a road bike. I think I'm going to have to repeat this. I already know I'm going to have to repeat this, but we're going to have to go somewhere much looser and techier. Yeah. Mind you, then on a road bike.
How did you find it on the corner? Because the corner's a bit loose, right?
Yeah, well, I find it fine on the way up. Coming down on this is a little different, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm going to do the other 2 anyway, and basically I feel like the road bike's going to be quickest, and I also think I've probably got the Queen of the Mountain, and if I haven't, I'm going to go and do it again.
Those tyres you're running, have you told everyone?
Oh, I think I've got 28s on at the moment. Yeah, I have. I've got the 28mm tyres, and they're pretty low pressure. I think I've only got about I've got less than 50 psi in actually. I have got the Tyre Whiz app thingy, so it shows you exactly what pressure you're running. I went way harder than I was meaning to go because I just got overexcited and it was fun, and I was like, well, hey, this is fast, I'm going to set a really good time. So it's like the worst, most unscientific test ever, but hey, I'm enjoying myself. I'm going to have road pedals on my XC bike, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not intending on putting the foot down or walking about. Got a much bigger sprocket here, but it is 1x obviously. I mean, I'm not going to be using that chainring for this climb, no way. This is such an unscientific test because I've got different tyre pressures, different width tyres. But then I guess that is part of the test, isn't it? Because obviously I've got different width
Yeah, you're
tyres.
not going to use road wheels in every bike.
It's 3 different bikes.
Otherwise you just ride your road bike up there 3 times.
Exactly, but you know what I mean. So it should be a true test of the different group sets, the different gear ratios, the different tyre widths, everything like that. When I say a true test, I'm not really sticking to the power that I was meant to be sticking at. 3, 2, 1, go! I'm gonna have to start again. It wasn't reading my power like for the first 15-20 seconds. So then when it said what power I was on, my lap power was really down. Going again. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. A VPN is a privacy protection tool that encrypts all the data that you send over the internet. Without one, anytime that you connect to an unencrypted network, whether that's in a coffee shop or at home, hackers can steal all of your personal data. Using the internet without using a VPN is a bit like sending a postcard. Everyone can see everything. ExpressVPN encrypts all the data that you send over the internet, so no one can steal your passwords, access your photos or your documents. What's private remains private. On a more fun note, ExpressVPN lets you change your online location so you can get around geo-blocking. Like, for some reason, Vikings is not available on Netflix in the UK, but it is in Canada. So I use ExpressVPN on my Apple TV, connect to a Canadian server, refresh the page, then I can get my fill of Vikings whenever I want. Find out how you can get 3 free months of ExpressVPN by visiting expressvpn.com/Juliet or by clicking the link in the description down there. I'll talk to you in a minute.
What's that look of disappointment?
Okay, so here's the verdict. This feels slower, but actually I ended up putting out roughly the same average power over the lap. And I actually got to the top basically at the same, 2 minutes 16 and about 262 watts, roughly speaking.
Wow.
I mean, we'll have a look on Garmin Connect later. But they're basically the same. However, I felt like I tried a lot harder on this. It felt like it just, even the steep bit up there where you'd think you'd want this massive sprocket at the back, the road bike just carried the speed around a lot better. And you've got more gears on the road bike. Like, I've got 1x here. And that means that you can't finesse your cadence as easily. Like, I can get in exactly the right gear depending on how my legs are feeling and depending on the gradient on my road bike, whereas in this there's big leaps between gears.
Yeah, and you'll jump from like 90 RPM to like 100.
So I kept going clunk clunk because I'd choose one gear and then be like, no, that's too heavy. Choose the next one. Oh no, that's too spinny. Oh, I'm going to have to go a bit heavier than I want to go then, or spin out. So I don't know, this felt slower, but I think they were the same in terms of speed. Also, obviously, the more hard efforts that I do, the harder it's going to feel to me. So I'm going to do my 3rd hard effort on the gravel bike, and I'm sure that's going to be really painful.
So what you're saying is, right, the speed's the same,
Yeah.
the power's the same,
Yeah.
the time's the same, but it
Yeah.
felt harder. But then, basically, that could just be because you're more tired.
It feels harder. It does feel harder.
Does it feel slower?
It feels slower.
Do you reckon that's because it's like more like it's softer? I can't remember the words. It's softer. Do you know what I mean? And like
I pumped the tyres up and I locked out the fork.
But still.
So, but it's the position.
Yeah.
You're more upright, and it's the gearing. You can't select precisely the gear that you want because you've got 1x. I mean, I'm all for 1x. Normally, I love it, but we're doing a comparison here. So the road bike wins with that.
Right done.
Yeah. Right, attempt number 3, which is the Marin Headlands gravel bike. I have got WTB Radler tyres on these. These are 44C wide. I have pumped them up to 40 PSI, roughly speaking, because I checked what PSI my road tyres were at, and they were actually lower than I thought. They were about 41, 43, around about there. So I figured I'd mimic that on this gravel bike. Again, it is one by. I have got the 10 to 44 rear cassette on. Rear cassette, there's only one cassette. I've got a 10 to 44 SRAM Explore gravel specific cassette, unlike my old gravel bike where I had the it was a mullet configuration, so I had the mountain bike cassette at the back, the Eagle one, which was 10 to 50. Give you a little look. It looks like this. There's the Explore cassette. This is Access, so electronic shifting. I'm just putting off doing my effort, aren't I? Let's try it. God damn it, look! Bugger! Had a bit of a mechanical and I was doing so well! My average power was higher than it had previously been, but I felt like I was trying less. It was much easier to carry speed than it was on the mountain bike. I felt really good, and in terms of time, I was nearly at the top, and I was way quicker, way below what I would normally be at that point in the ride. So, bit of a bummer I didn't get to finish that effort at the same point that I did the other two. So my not very scientific experiment just got even less scientific. But I'm telling you, that was faster. That was faster than the road bike. That was faster than the mountain bike. So who knew? Turns out a gravel bike is quickest on a gravel climb. Bit gutted that I had that mechanical. I haven't had this group set on for long, and I did actually crash on it at Grinduro, so I wonder if I've bent the mech hanger. That's probably what's happened. But I've not ridden this bike since then, so that's probably my fault. Disappointed that I didn't get to actually do the whole lap and finish it. See, I'm now thinking, should I just go again? I've got to get back and pick up my daughter. So annoying. I think I'm just going to have to call it quits, and you're going to have to just trust me. Why would I lie to you? The gravel bike was quicker. I was going faster and putting out more power with less effort, and so therefore I think it's a winner. I will have a quick look at all this data later on Garmin Connect, but I just wanted to do this for my own personal pleasure, really, and it has been fun trying out all these different bikes. Don't normally get to ride all of them in one day. Hey, tell you what I should do. I should take out all the bikes I own and ride every single one of them in one day, right? I should do all of them, including the BMX. That would be so fun. I wonder if I've even got time to do that in a whole day. I'll try. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching this video. I know it's a little bit daft that I didn't actually manage to complete the final lap, but I was basically at the top when I had that mechanical, and you're just going to have to believe me when I say how much better it felt on this bike. So I'm going to whiz back down, say bye to Dave, pick up the kiddo, and then I'll chat to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.